All right. Thank you. All right, and Cynthia, you'll have to let me know if I'm not doing things according to the rules of order. Okay.
All good, all good. We're all here to help each other.
Thank you so much.
Melissa, I know, is going to try and call in because she's, I think, having some trouble with her audio. So,
Okay, great. All right, Valessa, while you're working on that, I'm going to ask that we all introduce ourselves to begin with because we do have a new member. Welcome, Brian, to EDC. We're excited to have you. My name's Kristen Delay. I'm a co-chair, or not the co-chair, but the vice chair of the EDC, and I'm a business owner, and that's about it. Thank you so much. All right, who would like to go next?
So my name is Brian Lynch, new to the EDC. Lived in Connecticut. I lived in stores for the last, about 16, 17 years, and work as a operations lead for a pharmaceutical company out of Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Brian, and welcome. All right, Cynthia, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'll introduce myself.
Okay, thank
Hello,
you.
everybody.
Go right ahead.
Welcome to the team, Brian. I'm Brian Coleman. I'm on the town council. I'm also a business person here in the town of Mansfield and a licensed realtor. It's great to have new people aboard, and thanks for joining up.
Okay,
I'll go
Lucy.
next.
Thanks,
Oh,
Nancy.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Nancy McKenney. I'm the owner of Hops 44. Been here for close to 5 years. Welcome.
Okay, Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy Aldrich. I don't know how long I've lived here, 7 years, but I also grew up in Coventry, so I know the area. And I am also a small business owner.
Lane. Oh, you're on mute, Lane.
you may still be having an audio issue, not sure. And it looks like Valessa is still connecting. So maybe Ryan?
Hey, Brian, Ryan Ellsworth, town manager, coming to you live from a house full of 3 crazy kids.
Thank you, Lane. Lane can hear us, but he cannot talk at this time. And Valessa, have you dialed in? I see there's 2 of you, but I don't know what's working and what's not. I think it's the same issue. Okay. And let's see. And she can hear us as well. But I think it might be the same issue with not being able to unmute. Okay. All right. Cynthia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. Nice to see everybody. Brian and Lane and I had a nice conversation a couple weeks ago, and so I did meet Brian at that point. So welcome, and look forward to working with you.
All right, fantastic. At this time, we do have the opportunity for public comment. I don't think there is anyone here at this time. Next would be approval of the minutes, and we have the minutes from March and May to approve. Are there any comments on the minutes? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes from March?
I can motion to approve the minutes from March.
Thank you, Nancy. Anyone second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Lucy. All right. All in favor? All right, we're looking good there. Okay. All right, we have the approval of the minutes from May. Would anyone like to motion an approval of the minutes from May?
Test my mic and move.
Thank you, Valessa. Fantastic. Second?
I abstain. I wasn't at that meeting. I watched it, but I wasn't there.
Okay. Anyone?
Do we need a second, right, Kristen? So
Yes, we do.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Lucy. All
Sorry,
right.
I had to go back in time.
That's a-okay. We're all getting things working. It's summertime. All right. All in favor of approving the minutes from May 2023, May 18th, 2023. All right. Thank you for abstaining, Nancy, as well. Thanks for letting us know. Okay, great. Cynthia, do you want to start with any reports?
yeah, I just, I know Lane's had got some audio issues. We we didn't have an official governance committee meeting, but we did meet, as I mentioned earlier, and talked to Brian and tried to acclimate him a little bit into the EDC's goals and send him the work plan and subcommittees. And I think he's reviewing that in terms of what subcommittees he might want to serve on. But I don't believe any other subcommittees met. I know that a couple of folks have done some business visits. And maybe we want to report on that at the next meeting. And I know Steve and I have talked about, how we might want to do that too, to protect the integrity of people's information. So, we may be able to go into executive session or something to that extent.
Cynthia, how are the visits going?
I don't know that, I know, Nancy, did you end up going on did you and Steve go on a visit or?
We did. We went on a visit and we tried to meet with another person, but they weren't unavailable. But the visit that we went on was fantastic. We
Okay,
went to my brick. It was good. It was really good for me. Now I'm partnering with the guy and we're doing all kinds of all kinds of events together. So, it was good. He really enjoys being in the town. He really likes the town. He wishes he could have a bigger space. There's not a lot of space for him that's affordable enough to have a bigger space. He would like to do parties and sip nights there. And, I didn't never realize that there was such a big clientele for Legos in my life. From kids to grown adults love Legos. I never realized it. So it was nice to talk to him. So
That's wonderful.
looking forward to going out with other places and getting their take.
And when you went, Nancy, were you filling out something very specific? Were you asking specific questions or did it just flow?
Steve did. And then, Steve was asking specific questions. He had the paper but yeah, it just flowed. It just flowed. And it was a really, we were there for a good, at least hour, maybe more.
That's great.
So it was a nice conversation.
Well, that's wonderful to hear on many levels. I think just someone willing to answer honestly and also a connection made. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Okay, Cynthia, any other updates with regard to subcommittees, or would you like to move on to staff updates?
yeah, I can move on to staff updates. So a couple of things, mainly I'll hit on a couple of highlights on other subjects in a minute, but really focus on Connecticut's countryside. So just to remind everybody, this is the economic vitality, venture with Bolton, Coventry, and Tolland. And Nancy and Ryan are involved in those meetings, as well as Kara Workman from UConn on the steering committee. I will be Friday picking up the Connecticut's countryside brochures. So these will be distributed throughout the town, hopefully we'd like to get some visitor centers if we can, along 84. And then I did want to open it up to the group. Are there any suggestions of places where you would want to see this? It's really a snapshot of the 4 towns, but DKA did a really nice job for us. So if there's, I can certainly bring some to businesses as well. But if there's any specific suggestions that you have, let me know.
I think I'll gladly put some in on our shelf here, Cynthia.
Great.
Because we have so many people coming in from Yukon, and the parents that come in and the people that come to visit. I think that it would be beneficial, but I also think like the realtors, like
Yep.
people, like somebody that buys a new home, like they should be given this like in maybe their welcome packet from, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Was it like the chamber that sent me this is so many years ago. I mean, like the town usually sends a welcome packet to a new homeowner. I don't know if that still happens. I haven't bought a house in 23 years.
I know, I mean, Ryan might be able to answer that, but I know the town has done welcome packets in the past. And with the Explore Our Town guide, if you remember that had about a 2-year shelf life. So all the realtors received that. So this is a little bit of a companion piece, but looking at it from a regional perspective. So yeah, so we'll definitely get them to the realtors and to the library, the town hall, senior center, but also again, trying to promote the area regionally and statewide. So we're going to be strategic about that as well. We might be able to bring some to the Big E, I'm thinking.
That would be good. I think posters as well, like with the QR code.
Yeah.
Because, because I think that limits the amount of paper. I think people will pick up a piece of paper and they won't go back, and it will just go into a pile. So I think a QR code, maybe it will be on their phone and maybe tend to look at it.
I don't know if he did a QR code because they are done, but I'm not sure if he did because we don't have the website ready. So those are the companion pieces. So Nichols College, through Tim Liptrap, who's on the Coventry EDC. He's working with the students on the website to be done this summer. And then in the next couple of days, I hope, we will have the video being done by DKA. So they're going to highlight various things in Mansfield. Well, all 4 towns. So there's kind of a 3-part piece to this, but I just can't remember if the QR, if there is a QR code on there, probably not.
I remember he said that they were going to do one for the website. So I think that once that happens, maybe if we get posters that we can put in different spots, that people can just scan the QR codes.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Not
bring that up. If I
necessarily-
forget, Nancy, bring it up at the steering.
I will. But I think that that's a really good avenue I mean, the pamphlet thing is great to me, but a lot of times, I mean, how many pamphlets do we all pick up and it just sits on the counter and then
True.
maybe look at it, or we're like, oh my God, I got to clean off the counter and throw it up.
Right. Yep. That is very true.
Ryan had said that he believes they're still doing the welcome packets.
Okay, great. Excellent. So we'll get them in town welcome packets too.
Cynthia, will they be at the Yukon open house when parents come up?
That's a good question, Kristen, and I'm trying to see have they scheduled the dates yet? For some reason, we're not on their radar anymore. They're doing it because we used to have tables there. And so I asked about that again. So I need to see whether they're doing a fall and spring again or how they're doing that. But let me
Parents
write that
weekend
down.
too. Yeah, parents weekend would be a great one.
Yep.
And like Nancy, I would love to have some at our business because we have people come from all over the state and they're looking for something to do when they come up to visit the practice. And so I'd love to be able to hand it to them and they can plan out a day up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Parents weekend is October 13th.
Okay.
and 15th.
Brian, yes.
Just want to throw something out there. It's like, as a real estate agent, a good time to tell people the amenities of Mansfield is during the listing of the property and advertising the property. If we could somehow come up with a decent list of amenities that real estate agents can refer to you know, in and out of town when they do get a listing here.
This would be perfect for that, Brian.
It's very oddly specific, but all the ice cream stores come to mind, maybe because it's July. But like Farmer's Cow and Red Barn, I feel like a lot of people go through there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That and the coffee shops. I feel like I was in Hebron and
But those are constant.
that's a constant, right? I was in Hebron and they had their information with a QR code as a bookmark with upcoming things and events. And then it was in one of the coffee shops in the main area.
So that actually brings me to another, so Margaret Chady, who's the town's communication specialist in Ryan's office, she and I distributed the summer fun in Mansfield at the Chronicle insert. So we went to campgrounds, went to a couple of businesses. So that's another piece. And, you know, we were lucky enough, well, we paid for it, to get Mansfield on the cover and as the feature story. So it was another great marketing effort. And I want to thank Margaret and Kathleen in our office for doing that. So all of mine are gone now. So I don't know if Margaret has any left, but I think we got them out pretty thoroughly throughout the community. Yeah, if you think of any other ideas, let me know. Just email me and hopefully I'll have them in my office on Friday, and I'll make sure that I'll send you all the computer version, online version once it's out there.
That's great. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Sure.
And thank you to both to you and Nancy for being on that committee and participating and supporting Mansfield. So thank you. All right, moving on to business updates. And Cynthia, I think in the email you had provided some information on openings and businesses moving in, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of activity over the last 2 weeks for downtown. So we have, you know, Pliables, going into the former 7-Eleven, Haven Hot Chicken going into the former Wingstop, Square Peg Pizzeria going to the former Geno's, and then Husky's opening in the former Grill 86. It's a little unclear if that's, you know, they potentially will be affected by the Will Husky project up on off of King Hill Road, some of those businesses. So we should actually have I'm tackling Kristen a lot of agenda items here, but they are coming to our August EDC meeting. And Brian, just for your information, so we often, the developers come into the EDC, give an overview of what's they're proposing. The EDC has a chance to weigh in and ask questions, and so they are scheduled with Jennifer Kaufman, the Director of Planning and Development, for our August EDC meeting. So whether Huskies, you know, whether they will sort of go dark if that business, if that project goes through and then reopen one there, that's a little bit unclear in that area up on North Eagleville.
Okay, I was going to say, Cynthia, can you just explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the businesses on both sides of North Eagleville would be affected by the Will Husky multifamily project, which will have some commercial below. So that's where it's a little undetermined yet, you know, who will be going where, if some people are relocating, whether they'll be, you know, we already have some closures up there. I think Sergeant Pepperoni's is already closed. Chompers, I believe, might be closed as well. So we should be able to get some more information, hopefully, from the team at the meeting in August from the Will Husky.
When is that project supposed to start?
Well, they are going to inland wetlands on August 7th will be a public hearing, and then they will go to Planning and Zoning Commission on September 5th.
Yeah.
for a public hearing, and then you have the whole timeline starts again in terms of how that works. So
24 or 25 is probably the
that would be a good guess.
range.
And Cynthia, just for my understanding as well, and I apologize if you may have mentioned this in the past, but that property on North Eagleville specifically, is that Town of Mansfield or is that University of Connecticut property?
So it's private property. So the footprint will not be, the UConn does not have a role in selling any property there or anything.
Got it.
So,
That was my question. Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
That was far better worded than myself. Thank
yeah,
you.
well, not necessarily.
So I have a question, Cynthia, because last week everybody got an email that the Place to Be was coming down in the Grill 86 Plaza, and then now it's saying that Husky's going down there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm confused.
yeah, the Place to Be is not going there.
Okay.
Any other questions or any other business openings or closings that have been noted by anyone here?
There was like a taco place on 32. Was
yeah.
that brought up? It just says taco on the signs.
Whereabouts, Lucy, on 32?
Near the Eagleville,
Or next to the fire station.
yeah,
okay.
Near the
fire station, thank you.
market. Yeah,
Yes,
it's called Taco Company.
and I'm trying to think what it's called. I know that Magdalena in our office reached out to them about the festival because I think they do have a food truck. And I am forgetting what their full name is right now. It's Taco
I think it's
something.
just called Taco Company. It's Taco
Taco
CO
Company.
or Taco CO. I heard it's very good.
Yeah, I need to stop in there.
Yes, it looks like it's taco, TAC, capital, and then a small O.
Got it.
That's what it's looking like. Yep. Okay. Great. Anyone else?
Sorry, I think our cleaner's coming in.
Not a problem. Any closings? It's great that we're talking about openings, that's for sure. I don't think I've seen anything recently. Okay, wonderful. Okay, housing updates.
I think that we covered the Will Husky group coming in. The special permit application for the Yamay development, which is the villages that we discussed at the May meeting, they have gotten, so there will be, the public hearing is continued again till August 7th. I did send to the planning and zoning staff the minutes from May, so they have that for the record, because we thought that would be closed by now and it's not. So they have for the record, the EDC comments on that project, and also the Route 44, I'm trying to remember the name of that project, CMC Stores project that was with sort of the style housing that I think that the commission liked, seeing a little bit different style housing, was kind of appealing potentially some young professionals.
Has anybody driven past the Standard lately? They are putting that thing up like quickly. Very quickly. There's like building structures up.
Well,
Oh, I have not, Nancy. I
Yeah,
haven't done-
Yeah, I mean, I went on vacation, to Nancy's point, and I came back a week later and I was like, because that's how I come into work. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Right. Where did that come from? Yeah. I was gone for a week as well, and I came back and I'm like, whoa, wow, that was quick. It's worth it to take a drive by.
But I think that's all I had on housing developments.
Are there still big trucks there? Sorry. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay. Time for a 2-year-old field trip.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you got to get there early if you want to see them come in too.
Sorry, Kristen, carry on.
Oh, that's okay. No, no, no. And I apologize. I left my glasses downstairs and I saw there was a comment. So I didn't mean to look confused. I'm squinting to read the comment in the comment box. We just had a question. Any further updates on the autonomous vehicle track that was proposed earlier on the depot campus?
Yes, but no real update. I actually, a little bit ironic, about a couple of weeks ago, I reached out to Steve Cortez, who's the developer for that project, or the investor, I should say. And so they are still, I think, working through looking at, site issues at that site. So
My husband's colleague actually is one of the engineers for that
Oh.
site. So yeah, they're still planning it out. That's all I got.
Okay, great. Thank you. EDC calendar, any comments on that, Cynthia? Anything we should be aware of specifically?
no, we'll just at our next meeting talk a little bit about winter welcome and business involvement. Actually, Kristen and Magdalena and I have a meeting on Friday to start. Thank you. Thanks, Kristen. To start looking at how we want to continue to increase the business participation as we did last year. I know Lucy and Kristen were both there participating. So
I'm happy to be there. I will be there at 1 o'clock on Friday.
okay, sounds great.
That's a confirmation for you, Cynthia.
Okay.
All right, well, let's move on to discussion items for tonight's meeting. And I know, Cynthia, you had attached the application referral and the memorandum with regard to the temporary and limited high density housing development moratorium. Did you want to start off the discussion on that?
Sure. So I'll probably just do a quick summary, actually, what Jennifer had sent to Ryan for the town manager's report. So, this is certainly up to the EDC, whether the EDC wants to weigh in or however you want to handle it. But so the public hearing is August 7th. It would be a temporary and limited moratorium on high density housing until March 31st, 2024. It affects new developments in excess of 5 total units or with an average density greater than 3 units per acre. So there are some exceptions, and that includes new developments for which not less than 50% of the units are to be restricted to persons at least 55 years or older. The potential new developments in the Plan Business 4 zone are not affected. So that is the Will Husky project, because that one has not until, actually, I don't think they've submitted anything officially yet. And then, projects that are in the Inland Wetlands Agency review process will also not be affected. So the projects that the EDC has seen will continue to move through the Planning and Zoning Commission process. So, Jennifer refers this to several different committees and commissions, and she referred it to the EDC. So, the EDC can comment or not comment. So entirely up to you. It is a limited moratorium. I think if you see the memo from the consultant team, to give them time to evaluate, kind of where things are and moving forward with multifamily.
May I ask for comments from our EDC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Absolutely.
a comment. I mean, I support this fully. I think that this is looking to make sure that we have a more diverse, just diversified housing stock in here in town. It's not just all student housing. And I think it's good that we take a step back for a moment, into March and kind of review what's happening and how we can try to make our housing more family friendly. And so I do support it.
Thank you so much. Brian Lynch?
No, I'm new to this, so more in the listen only mode to start off with until I get my feel for what's going on, as well as the cadence of these discussions. So
Great.
any look of confusion from me should just be taken as that.
Okay. No, and I agree. I feel like there, as stated in the document as well, there has been recent, activity. There's been a lot of similarities in the different housing developments that have been approved and are currently under construction. So I am also in agreement of taking a step back and looking at what this town currently needs and what we will have once these developments are finalized and finished. Any other comments? Yes, please, Nancy.
I agree as well. Let's get what's in the works already done and let's breathe for a second and let's see what's happening, because there's a lot. When you add up everything that's on the books right now to be done, that's like 800 places. So that's just places. That's not people. That's a lot.
How many developments are currently in process?
I think there's 3 plus South Eagleville. So 4. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I think just taking a step back and breathing for a second is really what everybody needs to do.
Thank you, Nancy. Any other comments? I think, my question is, I do feel like so far everyone's in agreement with how we feel about supporting this memorandum. I think the EDC should comment on it and have that on record. Is everyone in agreement with that? And Cynthia, how would we proceed with that? I know Steve typically takes the lead. However, I'm happy to help out and start the process.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 ways I think that it could be handled. So one, we could just submit the minutes, which is perfectly acceptable. And Jennifer reminded me that is perfectly acceptable. As Kristen said, we have done letters in the past. If the minutes are detailed enough and we have the recording, the minutes would probably suffice. Just in terms of time sensitivity and people's work schedules and my schedule, to be blunt. So I think minutes could suffice for this. But we could also do a letter.
I would be in support of a letter. Shows that the EDC is committed in diversified housing here in the town of Mansfield.
Additional thoughts and comments? And
So
Cynthia,
I can draft something up, Kristen,
I was gonna say, I could talk to Steve and we can work on it if you'd like.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll work on it together and.
Cynthia, are you doing the minutes? Sorry, I missed the beginning.
I think everybody knows Josh went on to another position.
Yeah.
So he might end up doing these minutes. It depends. He's been helping me out on this side until we hire somebody, but yes, I am doing the minutes.
Well, I'll reach out to Steve after tonight's meeting and see how quickly we can put something together.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my question though is I would like to make sure everyone is on the same page. I know there weren't many comments afterwards, but does everyone agree, or is everyone in agreement with providing a letter in support of this at this time?
Yes.
Specifically in support of the temporary moratorium.
Correct.
Okay, sorry, Brian's comment sort of confused me on that. So I am in support of submitting a letter, but if it becomes prohibitive, right, like, let's just submit minutes. Like, I think we should put something on the record.
Absolutely. So whatever we can accomplish to make sure that we're on record, that will be completed. So officially, we'll decide that EDC will be submitting something that indicates our support of the moratorium. Okay. Do we have to take a vote on that, Cynthia?
Yeah, I think it would be good to get it on record. Yeah.
Okay. Would anyone like to put a motion forward to create to support the moratorium? I don't think I said that fluently here, but who would like to make a motion? Okay, Nancy's
I'll make
making
a motion to support the moratorium.
Thank you, Nancy.
Only temporary, so let's
Correct.
just breathe for a second.
Right. And it is, like Cynthia said, till March. Exactly.
Right, and, like, let's just breathe.
Yes.
There's so much going on. I mean, like, so much going on at my corner. Specifically, like, let's just see how this is all gonna play out.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Brian. Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you so much, everyone. All right, we'll make sure that gets accomplished. I'll reach out to Steve. Cynthia, I'll confirm with you, and we'll have something in, whether it's minutes or a formal letter. We'll let the EDC know what has been sent, so that way you all have that documented. Okay, thank you.
And Kristen, if I could, so I just wanted to mention, Ryan, thank you, Ryan, for the correction in terms of Will Husky did submit their application. So I apologize for that error.
Sorry, I put myself on mute. Cynthia, business networking event. What updates do you have for us?
So we have not, so there's sort of two things going on, right? There's sort of the downtown stores networking, and then there's the town networking. So the town networking piece is part of that is being accomplished, I think, by the business visits, but I believe you all got an invitation to the downtown stores business networking event. And I know at least Lane and Ryan Coleman are attending. So that is August 16th, drop in between 5:30 and 7:30 at Dog Lane Cafe. So if you can attend, just let me know so I can work with the Dog Lane team on numbers of folks that are attending.
Great, and that's a Wednesday evening, correct?
It is, yep.
I don't know if I got that. If you can resend it to me, Cynthia.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Great, Cynthia, thank you. Anything else with regard to that?
Not on my end.
All right, great, thank you. Town Yukon collaboration update.
So I don't have any, we had the framework meetings that I think we've discussed in this meeting before have not been rescheduled. I think that they are going to be at some point, but I don't have any update there at this time.
All right, how about Yukon student collaboration?
I don't have anything new there. I will say we, and sort of wearing my partnership hat, we are trying to make even more of an effort to have student groups reserve the square. So we had our Husky Student Showcase, which was music, and I think it was it 2022 or 2021? So there's different things that we want to do. We're working with the yoga club to try to get them to, and they're very interested in doing some yoga on the square. So just trying to continue to keep it as active as possible.
Have you had good interest from the Yukon groups?
Magdalena just started some of that outreach. There were a couple of groups that Kara Workman, who's on that working group for the partnership, had recommended that she talk to. I guess Yukon gets requests to have different trucks along, why am I forgetting that road that closes down?
Oh, the one by Gamble?
Whatever way, yes. So yeah, so there's some opportunities there. We are a little bit limited on the square in terms of there's a provision in the agreement when the square was developed about making sure there's not a ton of competition that would hurt the downtown businesses. So I just have to double check that agreement, but doing different student groups and yoga groups, there's no issue there. So
Great. Any questions for Cynthia with regard to that?
You're referring to like food trucks or competition in that? Yeah, okay.
yeah, I mean, we definitely, bring them in for the festival and I know there's a lot of interest there. You always got to kind of weigh that, but there are some, and on the actual square, there are some restrictions. And because I've been here so long, I know this stuff.
There's a really good group that we have come here that would probably love to play music down there.
Oh, yeah?
The Yukon Rock Band. They
Oh,
are phenomenal.
Rock
Phenomenal.
Ensemble?
Yeah,
They did the Husky Showcase.
they are phenomenal.
So let me reach out to them
Recommend-
again.
Yeah, they are, like, I can't even tell you how good they are.
That's
Yes.
They would pack them in. It would bring a lot of people downtown.
I want to say when they did it before, it might have been like bad weather or something, but when Denise was here, yeah. So I'll talk to Magdalena about that.
Yeah. The talent that they have is beyond.
That's great.
How have the summer concerts been going, Cynthia?
Good. Yeah, Kathleen, we track how many people we get at our events, and I think she had 275 last week, despite the heat. We're still getting folks. So yeah, I think they've been going really well. We'll see what happens tomorrow between the heat and the storms. It's our last one with the Funky Dogs. So we do have the rain date next Tuesday afterward is the rain date.
Okay, great.
But yeah, movies start Friday or a week from Friday. So that'll be fun.
Great. All right. Any movement on the state of Connecticut Cultural District discussion?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a call with the staff there. So Wendy Barry, who some of you know, she went on to, I think she's at the Lyman Museum, but there's a new Wendy who's the executive director, and I met with her and the associate director, Deb Matheson. So we are aiming to do kind of our first official meeting, maybe sometime in September or October. And I got an outline from Deb on kind of what our next steps are. So there is a town council role at some point, so they'll be brought into it. We'll have to decide really what the best vehicle is to potentially do that, whether it's a subcommittee of the EDC. For those of you who saw the presentation, whatever group you have has to have an arts presence, and we don't really have that with the current EDC setup. But in my opinion, rather than reinventing the wheel, putting together some sort of subcommittee makes sense. But haven't really delved into it too much beyond that. But there is some movement to start working on seeing if that's something people want to do.
Is there anything the EDC should be thinking about at this time to support this, to prepare for September, October, or nothing at this time, Cynthia?
Probably not yet. Yeah, no, but soon. Once I have time to look at it more closely. So next week I don't have as many meetings, so hopefully next week. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, appreciate the help.
Of course. And it's tough to come back, right, to everything right away after vacation. Summer's a tough time. It's very busy. Very big.
Yeah, busier than you would think, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for continuing that outreach and for continuing that discussion, because I think, since then we've kind of brought it up, but not had too many discussions since that meeting. But I think there is interest. So it's worth pursuing, and I'll be interested to find out what types of things we'll have to have in place to have an application for that.
Yep, sounds good. Stay tuned.
Great. All right. Well, Cynthia, you included many communications for us in our packet, including the announcement about the Taste of Mansfield Champion Award winners, which was fantastic. Anything that you would like to highlight?
No, I think that was one. There were a couple of pieces on that. Margaret really got the word out. The council, as Brian and Ryan know, recognized the awardees. So I don't think, I'm just trying to flip through it. It was nice to see the recognition in Connecticut Magazine for the Ballard. And the Benton was also recognized, which I should have put in here, as a hidden gem as well. But it's such a unique thing that it's wonderful that they get recognized. So I think that's about it.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for always including that. It's so nice to see, because I'm sure all of us look at different newspapers and online postings. So it's just nice to have it all in one place and to see all the wonderful things that are being discussed about Mansfield and promoted. So thank you. All right. Our next meeting is scheduled for August 17th. Is there anything else that any of our members would like to discuss, bring up at this time, or have on the agenda for next meeting?
If there's any more on the autonomous vehicle track, I'd love to hear it. That's an exciting venture.
Mhm.
We'll note to keep that on there as something to look for. Thank you. All right. Well, at this time, we can adjourn the meeting with the support of our members here. Would anyone like to motion that we adjourn the meeting? Nancy, you've been my person all night.
And then I'll second just for pattern.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a pattern going. I feel good about this. All right. And with that, we can adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you all so much. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful event, Nancy. Everyone have a great month, and thank you all.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot, Kristen, for
Bye,
chairing.
guys.
Bye. Good to see you all.
Good to
Bye-bye.
see you too. Thank you. And Cynthia, I'll see you on Friday.
You will. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything I have a list for myself, actually. I've been doing some deep dive lists and thoughts for this. So
Oh gosh, that's excellent. Yeah, because I haven't done much thoughts at all. So
great.
But-
Thank you so much.